Baby, let me be your loving teddy bear.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Elvis Presley songs. For this list, we'll be looking at the king of rock and roll's greatest songs ever. If we missed any of your favorite tunes, let us know in the comments below. Thank you. Thank you very much. Number 20, That's Alright. Previously recorded by Arthur Crudup, Elvis jokingly started playing a sped-up version of That's Alright during a recording session while guitarist Scotty Moore and bassist Bill Black were taking a break.
Well, that's alright, mama. That's alright with you.
Producer Sam Phillips, hearing a hit, made them start over so he could record it, and 2 days later the song officially made its radio debut. It was popular enough to get 14 plays that night and forced Elvis out of a movie theater and into an on-air interview. 2 weeks later, That's Alright was officially released, selling 20,000 copies, launching Elvis's career and arguably birthing rock and roll as we know it.
That's alright, any way you do.
Number 19, Viva Las Vegas. As soon as you get to the chorus of this one, you can't help but sing along.
Bright light city, gonna set my soul on fire.
Viva Las Vegas comes from the Elvis film of the same name and has become a sort of calling card for the city itself. So much so that Las Vegas even tried to make it the city's official song. The instrumentation of Viva Las Vegas is instantly recognizable, with its rollicking guitars and Elvis's signature grumbling baritone. It's impossible to listen to it just once, and much like Elvis on a trip to the casino mecca, it makes us wish there were more than 24 hours in the day.
Viva, Viva Las Vegas.
Number 18, Blue Christmas. There are so many recordings of Christmas standards, it's hard to stake your claim as the signature version. Only big names like Judy Garland, Nat King Cole, and Mariah Carey have been able to secure their spot in holiday history. And of course, Elvis Presley.
I'll be so blue, just thinking about you.
Blue Christmas was initially recorded in 1948 by an artist named Doy Odell, but when Elvis took the reins in 1957, the song shot to icon status. Elvis's vocals sound incredible on the recording, and we love singing along to this one while we sip on our eggnog every holiday season.
Oh, I have a blue Christmas.
Number 17, Burning Love.
Lord Almighty, I feel my temperature rising.
Burning Love may not have started life as an Elvis song, but once he put his stamp on it, it was in the King's domain for all time. First released to semi-obscurity in early 1972 by Arthur Alexander, it was quickly picked up, covered, and re-released by Presley in August of the same year, becoming a number 2 hit and Elvis's last American top 10.
And you light my morning sky, burning love.
Brimming with energy, the lead guitar from songwriter Dennis Lind and the incredibly busy drum work of Ronnie Tutt, Elvis had actually been reluctant to record the rocker due to his recent and difficult separation from Priscilla. But 6 takes in, the old magic was back. Number 16, Always on My Mind.
Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have.
Gwen McCrae and, more famously, Brenda Lee may have released it first, and it may have netted Willie Nelson a Grammy long after the fact, but for many, the definite version of Always on My Mind belongs to Elvis.
You were always on my mind.
Originally written by Wayne Carson in around 10 minutes, it was eventually sent to Presley to be recorded in March of '72, just weeks after Elvis and Priscilla separated. Released as a B-side to his single Separate Ways, this heartfelt track remains an unforgettable country ballad.
And I guess I never told you I'm so happy that you're mine.
Number 15, Return to Sender. The smile, the eyes, the hips, the king deploys them all to great effect on the 1962 hit Return to Sender.
She wrote upon it, return to sender, address unknown.
Written by Otis Blackwell and Winfield Scott, and performed by Elvis in a movie called Girls, 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 the song's lyrics paint a cheeky picture of a man desperately hoping to make up with his lover, but she keeps ignoring his letters. The driving rock and roll beat of this little ditty is perfect for Elvis's style and persona, allowing him to be charming with just a hint of trouble. You can't stay mad at that face for long.
No such person, no such zone.
Number 14, An American Trilogy.
Old times are not forgotten. Look away, look away.
Although he wasn't the first to present this medley to the world, and he did not release a studio recording of it, An American Trilogy became synonymous with Elvis nonetheless. A musical weaving of three iconic and symbolic American songs, the unofficial Confederate anthem Dixie, the African-American spiritual All My Trials, and the Union Army March, the Battle Hymn of the Republic. The trilogy was first arranged and released by Mickey Newbury in 1971.
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
By 1972, it had become a show-stopping mainstay in Elvis's concerts, allowing him to demonstrate the true power and range of his voice, while also expressing his deep love of his home country. Number 13, If I Can Dream. Dilemma. You're the musical director of an important TV special. The producers just cut I'll Be Home for Christmas, and they need you to come up with a replacement. What do you do? Well, if you're W. Earl Brown, you write If I Can Dream, and if you're Elvis, it changes your life.
Where hope keeps shining, oh everyone, tell me why.
Slotted as the final song in Elvis's '68 comeback special, the song makes nods to the then recently assassinated Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy. It so moved Presley that he decided then and there to never sing a song or act in a film he didn't truly believe in ever again.
Please let my dream come true.
Number 12, A Little Less Conversation.
Hey, a little less conversation, a little more action, please.
Originally written for and rejected by Aretha Franklin, this track was retooled and presented to Presley for the film Live a Little, Love a Little, a box office dud.
All this aggravation ain't satisfaction in me.
Released as a B-side to Almost in Love, it barely charted and took over 2 years to find a home on an album. It was re-recorded for the '68 comeback special, but this do-over was ultimately not used until 2002, when it was remixed by Dutch DJ producer Junkie XL. Modernized and revamped, the track went to number 1 in 13 countries, finally becoming a monster hit long after Elvis had left the building for good.
A little more fight, a little less fun, a little less fight, a little more smart. Close your mouth and open up your heart and maybe satisfy me.
Number 11, In the Ghetto. Written by Mac Davis and originally subtitled The Vicious Circle, the marriage of In the Ghetto and Elvis Presley almost never happened.
Now, people, don't you understand that y'all need to help me hand?
Davis had first offered the song to Bill Medley of the Righteous Brothers, and then the singer-comedian Sammy Davis Jr., both of whom turned it down. Elvis himself had even been reluctant to record it, given its overt social commentary. But once he took it on, it became the perfect showcase for the power and emotional depth of his voice.
He starts to roam the streets at night, and he learns how to steal, and he learns how to fight in the ghetto.
It also provided him with a 13-week run on the American charts and a UK top 10, charting out at number 2 as well. Number 10, Blue Suede Shoes. 1 for the money, 2 for the show. You know the rest. Blue Suede Shoes is one of the most well-known rock and roll songs of all time, and any rocker worth their salt knows how to play it to perfection, including Elvis Presley.
You can knock me down, step in my face, slander my name all over the place.
Guitarist and singer-songwriter Carl Perkins first recorded the song in 1955. Elvis then recorded and released it as a single in 1956. The song was also the first thing fans heard on his debut studio album, simply titled Elvis Presley. It's one of the King's best-known songs to date, and one that'll keep on standing the test of time. Number 9. Are You Lonesome Tonight? Now this one's a true classic. Written by Roy Turk and Lou Handman in the 1920s, multiple artists took a stab at the song before it finally crossed Elvis's mind more than 30 years later.
Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight? Whoa, 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 whoa.
The tune was one of the first Elvis recorded after he came back from the Army and features the Jordanaires giving beautiful backing vocals. According to legend, Elvis didn't initially love his performance of the song and asked producer Steve Scholes to throw that tune out. But he was convinced to try it again, and the song's melancholy nature and the spoken bridge fit Elvis's vocal timbre quite beautifully.
Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back again?
Number 8. Don't Be Cruel. Now, don't let Hound Dog overshadow this one. The B-side of that single track is a pretty rockin' tune as well. Don't Be Cruel was written by Otis Blackwell and recorded by Elvis in 1956. Often counted as one of the greatest rock and roll songs of all time, Don't Be Cruel is a perfect match for Elvis's signature style. It's another one with the lovely Jordanaires singing backup, their smooth vocals pairing well with Elvis's rumbling twang. This one is just a lot of fun, and you can tell everyone making it is having fun too. Number 7. Love Me Tender. We all know Elvis Presley's signature rock and roll tunes, some of which are still to come on this list. But he also had a knack for great love songs.
Oh my darling, I love you.
Love Me Tender was initially released in an Elvis-led movie of the same name and gets its gorgeous melody from an old Civil War ballad. Since Elvis's version of the song, a number of famous artists have recorded the tune, including the likes of Julie Andrews, Johnny Cash, Barry Manilow, and Linda Ronstadt. But nothing beats the rich tone and the simple elegance of the King's version.
Love me tender, love me long.
Number 6. All Shook Up. Sometimes the simplest of ideas become a rock and roll classic.
I'm all shook up.
All Shook Up was released by Elvis in 1957 and is one of the King's most recognizable songs to date. The song has an easy melody, simple lyrics, and a beat you can dance to, making it a shoo-in for popularity at the time, and also making it one of Elvis's most fun songs to listen to live. The song is so famous and so associated with Presley that in 2005, it was the song chosen to be the name of a Broadway jukebox musical of Elvis songs. Honestly, there's no better choice they could have made.
Oh, I please don't ask me what's on my mind. I'm a little mixed up, but I feel fine.
Number 5. Heartbreak Hotel. That signature blues lick paired with the emotion and pain in Elvis's voice, pure musical perfection.
Well, it's down at the end of Lonely Street at Heartbreak Hotel.
The inspiration for Heartbreak Hotel is said to have come from a news story that songwriter Mae Boren Axton read about a man so lonely he jumped out of a hotel window. The story clearly resonated for a number of listeners as the song made music history, steadily climbing the country, pop, and rhythm and blues charts all at the same time. Heartbreak Hotel became a favorite at Elvis's concerts and lives on as one of his very best today. Number 4. Jailhouse Rock. Elvis really did know how to do it all. He could be tender, he could be sexy, he could be serious. Unsurprisingly, he knew just how to mix progressive ideas and be a little tongue-in-cheek at the same time.
Everybody in old cell block was dancing to the Jailhouse Rock.
Jailhouse Rock, like a lot of Elvis songs, was recorded for a movie, and the sequence quickly became one that's still studied today. The lyrics in Jailhouse Rock allude to a gay romance between inmates, and the movie sequence itself isn't shy about featuring a lot of men gyrating around together. In recent years, the sequence and song have both become more recognized and celebrated for their queer sensibilities.
Number 47 said to number 3, you were the cutest jailbird I ever did see.
Number 3. Hound Dog. While it wasn't uncommon for Elvis or other artists to cover songs at this time in history, you might be surprised to learn that one of his most famous songs was a cover of an already pretty well-known number.
You ain't nothing but a hound.
Hound Dog was originally recorded by legendary R&B singer Big Mama Thornton in 1952 and was one of her only big hits. Elvis first heard a different version of the song in 1956 and fell in love with it. His version is now by far the most popular, although the song has been recorded upwards of 250 times.
You ain't nothing but a
Elvis is great, but if you can seek out Mama Thornton's rendition, we definitely recommend it. Number 2. Can't Help Falling in Love. Remember all of our talk about love songs? Well, time to break out the tissues. Can't Help Falling in Love was written for the Elvis film Blue Hawaii, but interestingly enough, wasn't really written with Elvis in mind at all.
Take my hand.
Originally, the song was meant to be sung by a woman and was called Can't Help Falling in Love with Him. This explains some of the rhyming choices throughout the lyrics, such as in and sin. Eventually, however, things changed and Elvis became the one to sing what's considered one of the greatest love songs ever written. With its simple lyrics and lilting melody, it's no wonder.
Falling in love with you.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Suspicious Minds. Suspicious Minds was first recorded for release by songwriter Mark James in 1968. James had written some hits for other artists, but this recording was unfortunately a commercial bust. Of course, Elvis's luck was a little different.
Because I love you too much, baby.
The King recorded the song in 1969 and it became a number 1 hit for that year, as well as one of the biggest songs of Presley's entire career. The song is extremely well written to James's credit and tells the story of a couple who just can't seem to trust each other. Elvis is a perfect fit for the song vocally with his smooth, sultry tone exuding pain and heartbreak.
Oh, let our love survive. Oh, no.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.